Hey everybody, this is Don again. It's time for episode 11 of Practical Reality. And the reality of today, first of all, is that it's cold and snowy out here. The wind is blowing, we've got light snow whipping around. I'm walking in this direction so the snow doesn't hit me in the face. So what I want to talk about today will be related to the last few videos, so I want to go over what I spoke about there in those last few videos first. In episode 7, I spoke about existential philosophy and how the world has accepted it without really knowing it. In episode 8, I spoke about the loss of self-respect that comes along with accepting existentialism in your life. In episode 9, I talked about achieving consciousness and presence to overcome that loss of self-respect. In episode 10, I spoke about how you can bring that consciousness and presence to bear in your work situation. And today in episode 11, I'm going to talk about why diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important for the workplace. Now, DEI, as it's called, has been all over the news lately. Ever since the new administration came on, companies have been backing away from their DEI policies, and they're sort of kowtowing to Donald Trump. And to me, that represents a tremendous admittance of cowardice. Because first of all, I worked for Amazon for about 10 months, and Amazon made a huge point at the time of talking about how DEI was so important. I was a recruiter for Amazon, and they had a special course that you had to take that took almost a whole day, talking about how to eliminate the bias that you have in selecting candidates. It was an intense course, and you had to pass a test and everything. They were very serious about it. At least they appeared to be serious. But of course, now they are one of the companies that are backing off of these DEI initiatives, along with JP Morgan and other companies. And to me, that's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And it's not just that. What's important to realize about DEI is that it doesn't really matter. People are people. You don't have to go and look for somebody special in a particular ethnicity, although that's what those programs are about. But the point I'm trying to make is, as a recruiter, I don't look for a specific type of person. I have eliminated my biases when it comes to selecting people for interviews and for, trying to get them jobs. If I was to get a resume from somebody who was clearly of a different ethnicity than me, do I not look at them? Do I discard that resume? Of course not. What matters is, can they do the job? Do they have the desire and the motivation to do the job? The first interview that I have with them is always to talk about their skills and their motivation and their desire and their sense of humility, to find out if they are not only qualified, but properly motivated, properly educated, have the right frame of mind to do the job that I'm sending them for. That's what's important, okay? To try and filter somebody out because of their ethnicity would be foolish. And all the companies that are backing off these DEI initiatives now are hurting themselves. They're intentionally hurting themselves. DEI is a good thing. And why? I'm now 63 years old. I've been in the workforce for 40 years. What have I seen? What have I witnessed as I grew up and got older? The United States has become a tremendously diverse place. It is no longer a white man's society. It is not, and it never ever will be again. To try and bring it back to that would be completely foolish. The notion that any one class of people, any one race of people should be in control is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I have met people from all over the world, and I married a Chinese woman. So, that's neither here nor there. But the point of the matter is, the United States is now a far more diverse country than it ever has been. And that is a strength. The talent pool has gotten huge, much larger. People come from all different parts of the world, and they bring their talent and their skills and their motivation and their desire with them to try and make themselves into a better person. and try to contribute something good to society. And that should be celebrated. Should not be denigrated, should not be reduced, should not be eliminated. That is a positive. That can only be a positive. When you have people from all different parts of the world, they have all different kinds of experiences, they bring their own sort of mindset and their decision-making processes to the workplace. That is a positive. And the funny part about it is what the present administration is doing is thwarting the will of the people. I did some research on this yesterday. I saw an Axios poll. People of all across the political spectrum and of all ethnicities all agree that DEI is a good thing. To include as many people as you can, to have a diverse workforce is a good, positive thing. Most Americans agree with this. Better than 50% of almost every political party and every ethnicity believe that that is true. So what the administration is doing is kowtowing or sowing fear. And that's another aspect of this whole issue that has to be examined. The whole issue that the administration is trying to drum up is all based on fear. That is how authoritarians rule. They base it on fear. They stir up the fear of people to make them afraid of something so they can hate it. It reminds me a little bit of the commercial that Tom Brady and Snoop Dogg did during the Super Bowl, where they're standing face to face and yelling at each other about why they hate each other. And then they show at the end how stupid all those reasons are. And that's exactly what this whole issue of DEI being reduced is. A completely stupid issue because there's no reason to do it whatsoever. There is no logical, intellectual, moral reason to do what they're doing. They're simply doing it based on fear. And that makes no sense whatsoever. Because you are hurting people needlessly who want to contribute to society. And there have also been studies, which I looked up before I did this video, that having a diverse workforce is incredibly beneficial for your company. For the reasons I already said. The more people you have from different parts of the world, the more opinions you have, the more skill sets you have, the more diverse opinions you have, that contributes to a better workforce, contributes to better productivity, contributes to higher profits. There is not one single negative aspect of that entire idea that affects a company in a bad way. Having a diverse workforce is a strength. Having a diverse country is a strength. There is no question about it. No question about it. So the companies that are backing off these DEI initiatives are doing so out of complete cowardice and giving into the fear that they have that the administration will target them for some reason. And there are some companies out there who have stood up to it and said no, and I applaud those companies. And that's how everybody should be. There is the fear that you have in your mind. The only way to overcome that fear is to improve yourself on a daily basis. That's what you should be doing. If you're worried about somebody taking your job, then you have to get better at your job. You have to improve your skills. You have to step up. You don't sit there and say, okay, oh my God, someone's coming in to take my job. Let's make sure that they can't do that. That's not the way things work. That's not how capitalism works. That's not how anything in life works. If you're going to be good at something, you have to keep on improving. Change is the only constant in life. You are a person who is charged with a particular job. Whatever you're doing, it's your responsibility to make sure that you can keep on doing your job as circumstances change. And if you don't bring that kind of attitude towards your job, then you're in the wrong job. You should love what you do, and you should be interested in improving on what you do at all times. And that's why having a diverse workforce of people who come in with different mindsets, different decision-making processes, different experiences is a strength. Because those people, that group there, is going to be more open to ideas, more productive, more creative than a group of people who come all from the same experience. That's just fact. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure it out. So that's why I say support companies that stand by their DEI initiatives and look to work for a company that has a more diverse workforce, and you will be a happier person, and your company will be happier, your company will be more productive, your company will be more profitable. That's all I have to say on that matter. And I appreciate everybody listening, and I think that it's important that this gets out there. That kind of message has to be spread. It's amazing how the media will constantly magnify negative messages and not even give voice to the positive. The negative news gets all the coverage. The positive news gets ignored. They think people are more interested in hearing negative things because people feel not as in control. The media helps people to live with that state of fear. So they don't give you good news because they don't want you to feel good, because good news doesn't sell. The more that they propagate the fear of the unknown, the more you keep watching, because you hope that something good's going to happen, but it never does. They never let you see it. So keep on focusing on your own life. Focus on your own growth. Focus on what you want out of life and ignore all the negativity around you. Look for companies that have diverse workforces, that support diversity. And those will be the companies that pull ahead from the ones that don't. Have yourself a great day. This is Don for episode 11 of Practical Reality. I welcome comments. I welcome subscribers. I welcome conversation. Have yourself a great day.